Hands on the border, but how do you break up with your friend? I know there is no use to confront her, but how do you say this is the end? I'm through being taken for granted. I'm the one you call when nobody's home. Being with you means just disappointment. I'm the last escape, so I've been told. Don't bring that bomb to my door again, my friend. You know that you've been crying wolf too many times. Well, this time I know it. Been there, I've done that. Those words are just sand in my hair. So talk if you like. Your words will be words till you bring them to life. So talk if you like. Your words will be words till you bring them to life. Words will be words till you bring them to life. Words will be words till you.
Welcome to the show. That was Talk 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 by St. Michael, by Anya featuring St. Michael. This is Let's Catch Up with Mike, and I like to apologize to the audience for taking some time off. It was unexpected. I am fighting a sinus infection, and also I'm wearing my glasses because I can't wear contacts for a little while until this clears up. So the glare is something you're just going to have to get used to for today. So I apologize for that as well. My guest today is an amazing artist that I have just kind of fallen in love with through Facebook posts. And we have some mutual friends on Facebook and have connected through the weirdness of Facebook Marketplace because, let me tell you a little bit about him first. Basil Swiston. And I had trouble pronouncing your last name earlier, so I'm glad I got it right now. I did get it right, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Good. Okay, I'm so glad. Basil Swiston is an artist, just a little bit south of me here in Florida, and Basil is an artist of digital art and canvas art, and he has just done some amazing pieces, and is actually I've commissioned a piece that you're currently working on. So I will
Yeah.
I'll let you talk about that in a little bit. But we connected through some mutual friends on Facebook, and then in in Facebook Marketplace, you found this amazing doll that
Yeah.
I won't call out the person because it's a back and forth between you and this person who's selling it. But there's this really cool doll that is made to look like the Joker from one of the Batman movies. And you've been trying to buy it from them, and they have
Yeah.
for some reason they've just disappeared off Facebook Marketplace, and
Yeah.
they come back and they disappear again and they come back, and you've basically purchased the doll without giving them the money yet. You've claimed it, it's yours, and then they disappeared again. So
Yeah.
it's essentially yours, and I need you to have this doll so bad. It's like the world will not be right until you own this doll, and I just think it's a
Yeah.
cool thing. So I'm pulling for you. So so Basil is an artist of extraordinary talent, as I said before, and I don't want to oversell you, but I'm going to,
Uh,
because you you're unique in two ways in my mind, because you're on the autism spectrum, which I think is very cool that you've used digital art and painting and kind of a collage style of art to not only self-therapize during the pandemic and the lockdown, but also just it's just something you enjoy doing, but you're also trying to kind of make a living out of it, which I think is really cool that you found this thing that
yeah.
you really enjoy doing, and it helps you kind of relax and center yourself, and you're able to kind of maybe make some money out of it. So I think that's great.
Yeah.
So welcome to the show.
Thanks. I'm honored to be here.
I'm really happy to have you on. So tell us a little bit about yourself first, as much as you want to share, and then I want to ask you about your art and what inspires you.
Um, okay. So, um, Hello, I'm Basil. Um, I am I am on the spectrum, but I am also a trans man. I that's and being trans is also something I'm very happy about. Like, I consider it a very important part of my identity, at least. And and I'm a, and I've been doing art for quite a long while. Like, ever since I was very young, I would like my mom was always said like I draw pictures of like characters from TV shows, and I would always draw them like almost exactly like on the shows as well. So it drawing's always something I really love to do, and art in general is always something that fascinated me. Like, not just making art, but like art history and stuff. That's it. I don't know. It's just been really cool to me, and yeah, and um,
That's awesome. I think that
yeah.
that's very cool. So you've always had this eye for art where you've seen something that you enjoy and you've been able to replicate it on the page, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
That's very cool. So, other than pop culture or TV shows or cartoons, what else has inspired your art? Because I think a lot of your art is very unique.
So yeah, cartoons are obviously like a pretty big part of it. I my inspiration, I would say, but I feel uh, like another big inspiration would be like, I guess, sort of like the pop art that you kind of see like with Andy Warhol, I guess, but with like very bright colors and very bright like visuals. I feel like a lot of my art uses bright sort of colors, and I also take a lot of inspiration from like Keith Haring as well, with like thick lines, especially with my paintings. I love using like thick, like bolder lines and bright colors.
Very cool, very cool. Well, yeah, I'm definitely a fan of Andy Warhol and Keith Haring myself. My logo here, which is it's hard to tell from this backdrop, but it's a ketchup bottle. Let's catch up with Mike, and it's a ketchup bottle with my head on it. So if you go to my Facebook page, you see
Uh,
that's what it is. But it's on the backdrop; it's hard to tell. But yeah, it's that kind of that pop culture Andy Warhol tomato can
yeah,
inspiration. But yeah, it's I'm definitely a fan. Andy Warhol and Salvador Dali are two of my favorite artists.
Salvador Dali's really good too. Like, I feel like my art can also be kind of like surreal as well, with just like uh, I guess just kind of weird in general. Like, I sometimes just get weird ideas and I project it onto the canvas or my uh, digital canvas, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's still a canvas. I think the digital
Yeah,
canvas is, and even if you paint
yeah,
if you paint onto a piece of wood, or if you paint
yeah,
onto a sheet, like a piece
yeah,
of cloth or a piece of, if you paint a mural, I still think that counts as your canvas, even if it's not
yeah.
a
And
traditional piece of
that's
canvas.
a that's also a cool thing about art. Like, anything can be a canvas, really,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and you're gonna probably see some a a weird canvas sort of thing from me, like an art piece on a weird canvas.
Okay, well, let's not waste time. Let's show that. What kind of pieces do you have that you want to show that are? And I'm going to show a digital piece of yours in a minute, but I want to see some physical pieces too.
Yeah. Um. So my first piece, probably this is the one I'm the most excited to show off, but it's let me get it. Kind of hard to show. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Can you see it okay, or is it a bit
Uh,
obstructed, or
Hold it down just a little bit.
uh
It
there
looks
you
like
go.
it looks like cubism pizza.
It's it's a project for my friend. It's supposed to be like an 8-bit pizza.
Yep. Okay. That's kind of what it looks like. That's very
Yeah.
cool. No, what is it on? Is it on a like
It's on a sweatshirt
a sweatshirt?
actually.
Okay, I was gonna say a blanket. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, anything could be a canvas,
Yeah,
and
absolutely. That is very cool. It looks like kind of like a Digimon or that kind of um
I
not
kind of
Digimon.
described the style to my dad. Like he was asking to kind of describe it. I said like the older Mario games,
Yeah,
like that.
but it also has influences of cubism, which is very cool. Uh,
Yeah,
I love that.
actually,
That's awesome.
this piece was kind of interesting to do because with some of the like um I guess square pieces what I would do to kind of get the square shape, the more exact square shape was I cut a square piece of cardboard. I stuck it to the end of a pencil with no eraser. Like I glued it to the end of a pencil without an eraser, and I just kind of dipped it into paint and stuck it on there like a stamp.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Actually, I think that's very cool.
You got to make do with it you can.
Yeah, exactly. So during the pandemic, during the lockdown time, you've been using art as kind of a therapy and kind of a pastime, but you've also been doing, like you said, projects for your friends and commission pieces.
Yeah.
So that's something you're doing for a friend just as a gift, or
Uh, no, my friend is. It's a commission. My friend's paying me to do it.
very cool, very cool. Are those pieces on the wall behind you? Are those yours, or are they?
Yeah, yeah. These are mine.
I love that face. That is so cool.
Yeah. This one, it was just kind of a mess up. It was supposed to be flowers. I wanted to paint flowers, but then I just kind of messed it up and kind of improved it.
I love that. Sometimes messing up makes the best art. I don't consider myself a painter, for any purpose other than for my own enjoyment. But I've done paintings that were meant to be one thing and turned into something completely different. I've got one that I think I look at it and think it looks like the moon casting a glow over the surface of a distant planet. And everyone else who looks at it says it looks like it's an underwater seascape. And I'm like, okay, well then I guess
Uh,
it is whatever the person looking at it says it is, right?
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, very cool. Oh, and what's the piece over your other shoulder?
This one, so kind of a backstory. I used to go to these groups and like in person back when we were still going to groups in person, and whenever we would go there, the first thing we would do is like we would do a what they would call a feeling drawing where we kind of drew on like a blank piece of paper how we were feeling.
Mhm.
So I kind of took that idea and put it on a canvas one day, and so that's why it says I feel tired.
Well, hold it up a little bit.
uh yeah.
Oh, okay. I like that. The is that hair in the middle?
Yeah, yeah, it's supposed to be like a person sleeping.
Okay, so to me it looks like Cher. Looks like a Cher
I
wig. So
guess it's someone in a share wig sleeping.
yes, at the end of a concert, Cher's very tired. She just did a very long concert set.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool. I like that.
Thank you.
So where can people find your art, or where can they contact you to have you commission a piece?
Um, so I have, uh, I'm in the process of setting up a portfolio. It's not 100% done, but my contact information can be found on um, uh, it's a card link. So you want
You're gonna
you want
share
to
your
look
screen?
up Trans Herb Creations, no spaces, dot card spelt with two R's dot co, and that's where my sort of contact information can be
Okay.
creation. It's supposed to be creations. I actually put creation, but
That's okay. Send it to me and I'll share it in the show link, and then everyone can have it, once the show is posted.
yeah.
Perfect.
It, just know the site's a work in progress. I'm gonna put stuff on there eventually, so it's not gonna be completely blank forever.
That's okay as long as people can find you, because then they can
Yeah.
have you
So
they can
yeah,
have
here's the link.
there we go. They can have you um
Yeah.
make stuff for them, and they can also have you um there we go. I'll bring it up so people can see it. They can have you make stuff for them, and then they can also see. Can you see that? I'm sharing the screen.
I can't see it.
Okay. Well, I will save that link, and when I post the show, I will make sure that it's available for everyone to see. But yeah, what we'll do is we'll post that in the show link, so in the comments, so people can see it. But they can contact you and they can ask you to commission stuff for them, and then they can, once the site's ready, they can actually buy art through the actual site. So you've shared a few pieces with us, but how would you, other than who's inspired you and describing your art to us, which I think is, some of it's just, like I said, mind blowing, and it's just amazing.
Thank
What
you.
what inspires you to create a certain piece? Do you have dreams about a piece, and then you wake up and go, oh, I'm going to paint that, or I'm going to make that? Or is it something you see in real life? I mean, other than the pop culture stuff and the, maybe an assignment in group.
Some sometimes it's like that. Like I'll have dreams about certain things, and then I'll go, ooh, and but other times, like I feel like I'll just come up with an idea or a design in my head, and I'll just go, ooh, that's kind of cool, and then I'll do my best to replicate it. Most of the time, it doesn't end up how I exactly envisioned it, but it ends up at least close enough to what I envisioned.
What is your process? What do you do when you're actually creating? Do you listen to, for me, I've got to either have,
I
depending on the mood, it's either complete
and then
silence or I've got to blast loud music.
oh yeah,
There's no in between.
and a lot of the time I need to have something in the background too. So either I'll put on a playlist of music that I like, which I have a wide range in like music I like. I could one day I'll either be listening to like a lo-fi playlist, and other days I'll be listening to like a metal playlist.
There you go. Rock out.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
um but yeah, sometimes I don't even listen to music though. Like I'll just have YouTube videos like going on in the background of like things that I like.
Very
Like
cool.
yeah.
Very cool. So let's that piece that the digital piece you shared with me before we started the show. I want to
Oh
share
yeah.
that. Go ahead and share your screen with me, and I'll pull it up.
So yeah. Um Funny thing.
I think that is really cool. So it's
Thank you.
is this a book cover?
Yeah, it's actually multiple pictures, but these I did 8 pictures recently for a friend of mine, and it's a poetry book of hers called "The Fellow on the Street Corner," and yeah, I did a lot of different pictures for this, and I was just saying before, like, oh, my art tends to be colorful. For this project, I had to do all the pictures in black and white, and
But it's almost a way that you can
yeah,
feel the color. I know it sounds silly,
yeah,
but they're not they don't feel black and white to me, because you can sense where the color would be, if that makes any sense,
yeah.
because it feels like there's color in them, even though they're black and white. I know that sounds
Uh,
ridiculous, but I'm hoping that our viewers can understand what I
like
mean by that.
I like with the limited palette that I hold on, I feel a sneeze coming. And it went away. Nice.
Well, that's because you called it out.
Um, uh, with the limited sort of palette that I had of like white and then a bunch of like different grays in the middle, I tried to make the most of it out of it as I could, just because I knew that that's pretty much all I had to work with.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Oh, that's very cool. Now go back to the
Oh,
to the
so
to the
sorry. I'm
lady with the
sorry. I'm
tray.
sorry.
No, you're fine. That to
I
me,
did.
because because the show just aired, it makes me immediately think of WandaVision. Um,
Oh yeah.
but of course, WandaVision based it on the old sitcoms from the '50s. So of course I think of like Leave It to Beaver and I Love Lucy. That's a very it's a very cool retro kind of feeling '50s sitcom.
Yeah.
Very cool. I love that. I love that piece. That's a very great, a very very cool representation of that era.
And what you're gonna notice throughout like the 8 pictures is that it it's kind of like it, it's like there's pictures, but like there's something like very slightly off about them,
Okay,
and that's kind of like the whole theme that she wanted me to do
like
with
the
it.
severed hand in the background of this one.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
That she's
it's like
very
it looked.
Wednesday Adams to me. That's
Yeah,
very
yeah. I did the book cover, and like all these pictures are for different poems from her book. This is for a poem that's called Katie, and this one's
oh
for
wow.
this is the same woman as the one before, but it's inverted and basically.
Yeah, but if you took those two pages and framed them side by side, that would be a very cool piece to have hanging, in your kitchen or well, maybe not in
Yeah,
everyone's kitchen.
not a kitchen.
I'd hang it in my kitchen. That would be a cool piece in my kitchen.
Hey, I'd hang it in my kitchen too.
That's awesome. So is this
It's this one.
oh my gosh. That to me is it's beautiful, but it's that to me is jarring. That
That she wanted a kind of a creepier look to some of them, so
yeah. That's a Charles Adams Shel Silverstein induced nightmare. Did is this book a digital book or is it a actual book? Is it a physical book you can buy on a shelf?
it's it's gonna be. She says she's wanting to publish it on Amazon, so I'm assuming it's probably a digital, but
Okay.
they're probably gonna make physical copies too. Uh, I'm not too sure. All I know is that it's being published on Amazon.
Very cool. And will you get some sort of royalty or commission for the copies that
Uh,
were sold, or was this a one-time deal for you? You just got paid for the art.
um, I know I will get paid for all the art that I made. But I don't think we've went too much into detail about like royalty stuff yet.
Gotcha.
But I mean, I was just happy just to honestly do it and like have the idea of like my artwork being in a book is was just like amazing to me.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's an honor right there. That's very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. Well, when the book comes out, you need to let us know, and we can start. We can promote it on our pages, so we can, at least make the book famous, so it'll help you get famous.
Yeah. And
That's very cool.
wait, I think I might have a couple more pictures. Oh yeah, here's the last picture. This one is for a poem called "The Cows Are Dead."
Oh my gosh.
This is what probably my favorite one to do, just because.
I'm not sure if is it a mask on a person or is it a cow's head on a person?
Whatever you want it to be, I guess.
Yeah. I like it though. I mean, it's like I said, so many of these, even though they're black and white or grayscale, I feel like there's color in them. It's almost like the color is trying to break through, that says a lot about your ability to work with, like you said, such a limited palette.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing all of these for the first time. I want my audience to be very clear. Other than the cover, I have not seen any of these pictures before and any of these illustrations before. And so these are genuine reactions from me. And so that to me is a very cool. It I am really struck by this one. That
Probably
one,
my second favorite one to do was this one.
yeah. My first thought was it's the Earth, because it looks like the famous picture of the Earth being held with the hands, like
Yeah.
keep Mother Earth safe. But
Yeah.
it's also an egg with the yolk being cracked, the shell
Yeah.
cracked and the yolk pouring out. But it almost looks like the Earth is bleeding.
Yeah. So
What was
of course,
what was the title of this poem?
egg.
Oh.
I know, very.
Well, when you don't have the context, I guess
Uh,
the piece can be whatever you want it to be, right?
yeah. So uh, so with this poem, it if you kind of notice with the yoke, it kind of almost sort of makes a bit of a heart shape. That's because like with the poem, it's about like how relationships can be like kind of fragile, like
Hmm.
an egg,
Yeah,
and that's why I kind of tried to implicate that with this piece.
right here. Yeah, yeah. I think it's all beautiful. It's all very, very well done. And like I said, I would frame the two opposite 50s
This
housewives.
one
Yeah,
and this one.
yeah. I would frame those side by side. Actually, I would even put those two with the girl with the cake in the middle. I would put
Oh,
that would be like a cool triad
yeah.
to put in the in like a kitchen or a living room or a kitchen or a dining room. I mean, it's very macabre, but I that's what I like. So, but yeah, very cool. I love those. The whole series is beautiful and very, very well done. So
Thank you. It,
kudos.
it, I'm very proud of it, just to
You
say
should
the
be.
least.
You should be. Very cool. Very cool. Well, what other pieces are you working on right now, or what else can you share with us about some of your upcoming projects, or where people can find um, stuff you've got going on?
Um, well, I am. I do have a few paintings over here that are kind of works in progress. Sorry, a little
Nope, you're
flu in the
good.
throat, but I have this one, which is like a flower
Hold it up a little bit.
woman.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So is the dress a flower as well?
No, it's basically just a normal woman's body, but the head's a
Okay.
flower.
Yeah, but the dress looks almost like a tulip. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Very
I
cool.
just
That's really pretty.
thank you. I It's kind of like a series of paintings I'm trying to do. Because I have another flower woman painting that's a little bit out of reach, but it's an orchid,
Okay.
and uh, the first one of the series was a rose with like a blue dress, and I I don't have that painting anymore because I sold it at an art market that I was at a couple months ago.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah, which leads me to one of my projects, or sort of upcoming things for me. There is another art market that's going to be going on in like Central Avenue, St. Pete on the 18th, and I'm gonna be one of the vendors there.
Oh, very cool. So that's in St. Pete at Central Avenue, and where people who are in the area, will they know where that is?
uh,
Is
yeah,
there?
it'll be by a rainbow colored house. That's the
Okay.
best way I could describe it. And it's from 6 to 8 at night.
Okay. Is it a named market? Like, if someone said I'm going to be at the blank
It's
market or the whatever
it,
market.
the the art market's being sort of run by Metro Inclusive Health, which is like a nonprofit
Okay.
organization around here.
So it's by the Rainbow House at what's the corner again?
Central Avenue.
Central
Uh,
Avenue, from 6 to 8 on the 18th.
yep.
Okay, perfect. Well, we will make sure that I will have this episode up later tonight, so people will definitely have enough time to get there and to look for your booth. Very cool.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be trying some like experimental things. Like I bought a birdhouse and a little wooden ball, which I have right here, from a flea market recently, and I'm gonna see if like I can come up with any design ideas for them and maybe try to sell them.
Very cool. What's the strangest thing you've ever painted on?
Hmm. I I'm trying to think. I painted on quite a few things, but I guess the strangest thing I've ever painted on was actually I kind of have it in a second. If I can get up real quick and
Yeah, go
get
ahead.
it.
Yeah, take your
Okay.
time.
Okay.
Welcome back.
So here it
Oh, okay.
is.
Yep, the mannequin figure.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I just painted on him. I'm naming him Hubert.
Hubert.
Yeah. He's a mannequin that I got quite a few years ago. Also at a flea market. And yeah, these are what I like to call like art mannequins, which because like a lot of artists tend to use it for like reference stuff. I
Right.
mostly just use, and I've used him for that in the past, but now he's basically just my painting canvas now.
Yeah. Very cool. You know, it's funny. Years before I ever started doing any kind of art, I would see those little wooden mannequins in stores, and I thought they were like the coolest, most basic, stripped down action figures. And
Yeah,
I would want one. I was like, oh, I want one of those just to have. I wanted like my windowsills or all the shelves in my room as a kid. I would just want them, just like in different poses. I didn't want to play with them. I just wanted them in different poses all over my room. But they were like $50 a piece, and
yeah,
they're so expensive. And to get those to a kid, my parents were like, "Are you crazy? We're not buying these for you." Because they
it,
thought I was just going to play with them once and and never play with them again. But even
yeah,
worse, I didn't want to play with them. So what was the point getting
yeah,
them for me? But yeah, now whenever I see them for at flea markets or secondhand stores,
yeah,
I'm like I snatch them up. You know,
yeah. And it's crazy. Like a lot of them tend to be like pretty small too, but I was
yeah.
shocked that I was able to find one this big.
Yeah, and the big ones are even more expensive. They're a couple $100 sometimes, especially if they're
Yeah,
solid wood. I've seen plastic ones at IKEA for like 9.99, like for less than $10. I'm like, who wants a plastic?
I think this guy that sold this was selling this for like $5 just because he had no idea what the hell it was. So
Yeah, or probably just wanted to get rid of it.
yeah,
That's
no,
fun.
I remember like I was explaining to him what it was because he was like, "Oh wow, I didn't know what even the purpose of this was." So
Wow. Wow, that's crazy. I love that.
yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So what do you, if you could have painted or created with any artist, living or dead, um and probably dead because most of the famous ones are dead. Who would you say would be like your dream artist to do a project with?
Hmm. I That's an interesting question. I'd probably say maybe Keith Haring again, just because like
Yeah.
I, I don't know, uh, like his art just was like an especially big inspiration, and like I just like knowing like kind of the big impact he's had on like the LGBT community and stuff like that. I feel like he'd be cool to, I guess, paint with.
Yeah. I think that would be very cool too. I think I wouldn't even put myself in his category, but that my favorite piece of his is where he painted the entire room in black and white figures, and he himself was covered in he was completely naked and covered himself in black and white and stood in the middle of the room. Actually, it wasn't even the middle.
Oh,
He stood off to the side of the room. Um, he was in the corner of the room, and he was covered in the exact same pattern that he'd done the walls in, and he blended in. And I think it was
oh
Andy
wow.
Warhol. It was one of Andy Warhol's last photographs, maybe
Oh,
he took the picture. So it was a great uh, collaboration piece, but
oh
or it
wow.
may have been a self portrait. I don't remember, but I know Andy Warhol had taken some pictures of Keith at some point towards the end of his life. But yeah, there were
I'm
that photo of Keith Haring in that room that's just all black and white, and Keith is
Oh wow.
completely naked, covered in the same pattern. It's almost like a Where's Waldo? Like, where's Keith? He's in there.
Yeah.
And unless you've seen the painting a number of times, you don't know where to look. And he's in there. He's standing like on a piece of furniture in the corner, blending in. It's very cool. But that's one of my favorite pieces of his. So, yeah.
I guess like if I had to pick another artist, I guess Andrew Pollock would also be kind of an interesting artist to work with.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Interesting would probably be the best
Yeah,
word.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, talking about troubled, but I think,
Yeah.
all the artists, and it's, we've come into a time in the world where we realize that, so many of the artists, whether they're actors and directors that we have idolized in modern day, or great painters and sculptors of the past, their personal troubles and horrible things that they've done or were done to them made them into the great visual artists that we loved. And you almost have to dismiss the two parts of the person, because I mean, one created the other in a way, but you kind of look at them and go, oh, but Pollock, Pollock was just so troubled, so many issues, but such a brilliant artist. Yeah.
Just saying that, like, it would just be interesting. That's all.
Yeah, that's the best way. That's why I didn't go into any of the details. I just said interesting. Yes, exactly. So, well, Basil, I really appreciate you being on the show. I'm such a fan of all the stuff that you've done, I will continue to follow your career and hope that you become one of the few. There's so many artists that don't become famous until decades after they've left the world. I know that you're going to be one of those successes that's a success in your own lifetime. So
I really hope so. Like, being an artist has been like a very big dream of mine for a while, and kind of course, this is the main reason, but one of the reasons I kind of started doing art as like another, like, as kind of a way to like sort of monetize my art in a way, is because I always kind of found that, like, as an autistic person, it was a bit harder for me to like get jobs, just because like that like I would like there would be like most of the jobs out there require you to like interact with people like for extended hours at a time, or like be around loud noises or bright lights. And so it's
I get that. I do. And it's you don't have to be famous to be a successful artist, and I know that you are going to be a success, and as long as you can make a living at it, and people will see and buy your art, that's what matters.
And I've had like quite a few people commission me, and like even at the last art market I was at, I unfortunately wasn't keeping track, but I estimate that I sold around between 25 and 30 of my paintings there.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, of course I had a lot to sell, so yeah, it was really good.
That is very cool. Well, congratulations, and much wishes, many wishes. I don't know where that came from. Many wishes for continued success. I feel like Moira Rose. Nothing but doubts. Nothing but doubts. Many wishes for continued success, of course, and I will share all of your links, and as soon as your site is ready to go, you let me know, and I will share it again so that people have a fresh look at it. But in the meantime, I'll share what is available, and we will do what we can to help promote you and push your work out there. So, and I look forward to my piece. I am so excited. I know I'm not trying to rush you, because I know great art takes time, but just to tell my audience, I sent a bunch of pieces of clip art, not clip art, but I had trimmed out a bunch of pop culture photographs of, like, Sandra Bullock and Jane Fonda, and just like random pieces from, like, almost
I
like,
remember you also sending Garfield too.
yeah, magazine clippings almost, and just said, here, make something fabulous with this, and here's money. And just do something with it. Whatever this will buy me with these pieces, make something fabulous. And Basil was like, oh, okay. No structure, no rules. Is there a timeline? Nope. Okay. Great.
Honestly, the least structure I have, like the more fun I can have with it.
Hey,
Like,
that's what I want. I just hope I don't have to print it on, like, this giant canvas, because you created this digital art that's like the size of my house. All right, dear. Well, I appreciate you being on the show. You have been a fun guest, and I've really enjoyed it. So I am going to play some outro music here. Stick with me, and I will talk to you on the other side after we stop recording.
okay.
Till you bring them to life. I've been too many times on the border. Yeah. Don't bring that bomb to my door again, my friend. You know that. If I am too many times.